Hey Internet, Harris here. So I've had this MacBook Pro 2018 for several months now, since whenever it came out. And I've made rather few videos about it on this channel or on the iDownload blog channel. This was replacing my mid-2012 MacBook Pro and then a mid-2013 Retina MacBook Pro. So this was a big leap for me, and I went fully spec'd out except for the storage. So it had 32 gigs of RAM, the 2.9 gigahertz i9 processor, and 4 gigs of video memory, and it was like $3,400. So here's my experience using a machine that costs as much as the cars of a lot of people that I know. Okay, so the things I like about it, it's premium. Like, this is a Mac, and it's slim, and it's lightweight for its size, and it's good looking. I don't really miss the Apple logo, which I was surprised to say, because I love that glowing Apple logo. I don't miss that. I put on a black dbrand skin on here, and I think that looks really good. I use that really just for protection to keep it from scratches, because I don't like putting a case on this or anything that's going to make it bulky, because I appreciate how slim this is, how well it's built. It's the best built laptop on the market, hands down. And while I would still love to see the bezels get slimmer and the device more compact overall, for a 15-inch body, it is more compact than the previous Retina 15-inch, and I appreciate that. It's not a terribly large device for a 15-inch screen size, and the same goes for the 13-inch. It can be a pretty compact device, but I think Apple still has a lot of room to grow or shrink in terms of its bezels, and I think that's the next step, and I kind of wish that had that now. But yeah, it looks good, and it's premium, and you can tell that it's an Apple product, and it is indeed powerful. I can edit footage a lot smoother than I did before with the previous generations. I can edit 4K video, and it's usually not an issue, and just have a lot of things open at once, and it's a really good experience. It's really powerful, and for me, in my YouTube workflow, this helps out a lot. And I prefer Macs big time because I can go edit anywhere. I can edit right here, I can edit over there, I can edit in a library. I'm not tied down to a desk, which is something that I love about Macs. But once we get past that, I'm really not a huge fan of this machine in every other aspect. So, one of the staples of Macs has always been that keyboard trackpad combo. And the keyboard, it's grown on me from the beginning. It has the, third generation butterfly keyboard, so it's very thin, kind of clicky keyboard, and some people really like that. I always appreciate when I use an old Mac's keyboard. I'm like, wow, this was so great. I really like the key travel. I really like the keys on this older MacBook Pro. I'm very much more prone to typos on this keyboard because the keys are so thin. It doesn't take much effort to accidentally hit another key, and so when I could get over 100 words per minute on my previous Mac, on here I was maybe 10 words per minute slower. It's not the end of the world, but it shouldn't ever be a downgrade when you're upgrading a computer. The keyboard, I think, it's no longer the staple on the market, but by any means, it's no longer the staple on the market. You may love it, it has a satisfying sound, but I'm just not a fan of the keyboard on this computer. I miss the old one. And then the trackpad. It's great, it's good for artistic uses, it's clicky, it's what you would want out of it, but it's too big. The palm rejection is not perfect, and weekly I have when I'm typing and my palm moves the cursor to somewhere and I start typing or deleting something else. It seriously happens every single week. It's just too big. I don't understand why this trackpad is so big. It really does not need to be that big by any means. And then occasionally I have some issues like the bottom right hand corner just like not clicking in when I'm trying to right click. I never have figured out why it does that. I think it may just be an issue with this or software or something, or maybe it's intentional, but sometimes the bottom right hand corner would just kind of stick, and that's not very helpful when I'm trying to right click. And then up top there is the touch bar, and I'll just say it, I think the touch bar is so annoying. I think it's stupid. I think it's kind of a failed attempt at implementing some type of touch into this device besides a touchscreen. And I think it just gets in the way. I just want a function arrow. I just want to change my brightness and my volume with one tap. Sure, there's some times that I use it, sometimes there's quick actions, but I can't think of many on the top of my head. I really just miss a dedicated function row, an escape key that's always there, brightness and volume and media controls that are always there. And yes, I can kind of customize this to make it a little bit better, but I just think it's useless, even as a creative person who uses Final Cut Pro and Photoshop and different applications like this almost every day. For me, I find it totally useless, and I think that a lot of the kind of average consumers of this who might be buying a 13 or 15-inch laptop, I'm going to say go non-touch bar, save some money, don't mess around with the touch bar. I just find it useless. And so the whole middle body of this computer I'm just not a fan of. I don't like the keyboard, I don't like the trackpad, I don't like the touch bar. And you can call me a hater, but this is what I paid my money for out of my own pocket, so I'm entitled to these opinions, certainly. The speakers are good, flanking the keyboard on both sides. They're loud and powerful, and that's nice. USB-C, you know what? It's a love-hate. I just wish there was an SD card, but at least there's a headphone jack, so I'm not totally concerned about USB-C. I've just adapted to using adapters and dongles, and I don't really find it, I'm not bothered by it that much anymore. It's fast, it's pretty convenient for the type of things that it can do, and I like being able to use the same charger for my iPad and my Mac now, so I just wish there was an SD card, but that's about it. USB-C it's fine. One of my other big issues with this computer, it gets randomly extremely loud. Like the fans will just it sounds like a jet engine just going off.
So that might be a problem down the road, but my PC never makes these noises.
Sometimes when I have something as little as 2 images open in Photoshop. So it clearly isn't hardware related, and I've looked into the settings and I've tried to see what's eating up this performance, and it's just, I can't find anything. And I've restarted it, and I've updated the software and stuff like that. It's just this i9 processor, I think it just it goes ballistic sometimes, and I don't know that everybody's is going to be like this, and maybe I should take it into the Apple store and see if there's something they can do, but it seriously just goes ballistic sometimes when recording audio for no reason. This is the top of the line MacBook Pro, and it's going off crazy as if I'm throwing hundreds of 8K video files at it because I'm trying to open a new tab in Chrome, and that's just weird and not right. And then it also gets very hot in the winter. I don't mind it. It's nice. It's like a little hand warmer, but the top of the machine, under the logo, the metal there, and just the body, in the summer months, it gets too hot to use on my lap when I'm doing a lot of work with it. It is not a laptop in the summer. It is not a laptop under heavy duress. This thing heats up a lot. The i9 does not help this, and maybe I should have gone for the i7. Disappointing. They have fixed some of the throttling issues. It gets really, really hot sometimes. And then battery life isn't fantastic. If I'm editing video, it's going to be dying in a few hours. If I'm using it for casual use, it's going to be dying still faster than my iPad. So that's why something like an iPad is so appealing to me, because the battery just lasts so long. I don't have to worry about it ever dying in a day, whereas the Mac is certainly going to die in a day. So it has macOS, which I like. It has iMessage and iCloud and iCloud files. It has Final Cut Pro, which is how I edit my videos. It has FaceTime, so I can talk to my family and friends. It has everything that I want in terms of the software, most of what I want. Performance just isn't quite there for what I'm paying for this. Final Cut Pro still doesn't run flawlessly. And in general, as a creative person, the touch bar isn't that useful. I don't love the keyboard or the trackpad. There's a lot of power and a lot of portability. USB-C is nice, and I think this is good enough to keep using it because of those features, because of the USB-C, because there's still a good trackpad, even if I do think it's too big, because it is so portable for so much power. I think all of these things combined make this still a very attractive device, but I also think that it's still a very frustrating device, and I don't like the fact that I paid $3,500 for this and I'm having these issues. I want a better keyboard and a better trackpad. I don't want a touch bar. I would love an SD card. I would love a touchscreen. I would love better battery life. I would love slimmer bezels. Hopefully the next MacBook will be fixing that. I won't be buying it most likely because this is going to be serving me for a few years. Software will continue to improve, but for now this is an awesome machine, but I wouldn't be afraid of looking back a generation or two if you just want a 15-inch Mac, because older ones have some better features in some aspects. Let me know what you think of this 15-inch MacBook Pro. If you want me to do more of a student-oriented review where I talk about how I use it for my classes and just from a totally student's perspective, let me know and I can work on that too. But this is my general kind of, not really professional, but a creative, average consumer student mixed morphed review. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.